this really a kazoo intro? Because I'm still
Probably
fucking
not.
angry, and a kazoo's too goddamn like, woo, party.
What do you need, like a...
I don't know. I need a gong. Bang!
All right. Well, anyways, welcome to Fantasy Sports Addicts Anonymous. My name is Tom.
Hi, Tom.
I'm a fantasy sports addict.
And my name is Ryan.
Howdy, Ryan.
And I, too, am a fantasy sports addict.
We're here today to talk about losing.
Losing? Why would we talk about losing?
Well, let's face it. The odds are, as much as we want you to win your league, odds are against that. There can only be one winner in an 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 20-man league. Ryan always thinks he's going to be the winner.
I'm the favorite in any league I'm in
his own mind, but that doesn't mean he actually wins every league he's in. He knows what it's like to lose. Clearly, you've seen our trophy presentation videos in which we handed off trophies to other managers. So, what we want to talk about today is losing within the context of a dynasty or a keeper league.
Okay, that makes some more sense.
Right. If you're any normal redraft league from year to year, do the best you can. Always put your game face on. Always put your best foot forward.
No point on tanking. It's
There's
just
no
gonna
real-
fuck up your goddamn player profile.
Play for pride. That's obvious. But if you're in a dynasty or a keeper situation, maybe you had a really bad draft the first year of the league, or you inherited a bad team, whatever the case may be, I don't really like this word. I think it's kind of a negative, dirty word. It's one of the words I don't like to use.
But you love doing it.
Right. Tanking. Let's get it tanking. Is the word.
Tommy the Tank.
No.
Choo-choo! First pick multiple years in a row.
Actually not.
Yes.
No.
Basketball? 4?
I had a bad team. Anyways, clearly,
Clearly Tommy's a tanker.
No, I don't call it tanking. I'm not tanking, I'm rebuilding. Okay?
Rebuilding.
I'm rebuilding because I inherited a shitty roster.
That just won the championship the year before he got
The
it.
first year of the league, this one team happened to have won with Beno Udrih. Does anybody even out there know?
As his last player.
No, that was like the top player of that fucking champion.
Whatever.
Beno Udrih, that was what I had to work with. So the point is, I had to rebuild this roster. It's rebuilding and tanking can sometimes be frowned upon.
Frowned upon is putting it lightly.
Frowned upon. I'm just going to say
You got
frowned upon.
managers threatening to leave the league over this guy.
These are sour grapes, but see, that's the point of any problem you have in any league. Is the commissioner, they got to deal with a lot of sour grapes, right?
A lot.
The people that make the most noise are the sour grapes guys. Like, well, I should have had first pick, or I should have been in the play. It's the sour grapes guys that are going to burn your shit, get you in trouble, make a bunch of noise, and make the league a pain in the ass for everybody. So you got to watch out for
Especially
these
the
guys.
commissioner.
Yeah, the commissioner really doesn't like it, so clearly tanking's frowned upon. It'll make people upset. It won't earn you any friends, but your job, number one, as manager of your team, you have to do what's in the best interest of your team. And sometimes, like it or not, for the rest of the fucking league, you got to do what's good for you. You got to rebuild your team.
See, personally, I can give a fucking shit less about tankers because I trade all my first round or second round picks. Like, I didn't pick until 29th in this league we just drafted, or other dynasty basketball league. So it doesn't affect me.
Well, that's most of
But
the
I
league.
just gotta fucking hear about it, and that pisses me the fuck off!
So clearly it's frowned upon. Ryan's going to just control his rage for a moment. It's obviously frowned upon. I don't know if we can say that enough. So you have to keep it subtle, okay? If you're going to rebuild, you have to keep this a subtle act, okay? You can't just be that guy that goes out and benches his entire roster. I've never done that. You never should fucking bench your entire roster either. Don't do it. It's bullshit. Don't do it.
It's not even as far as benching your entire roster. It's having Boogie Cousins get fucking 3 goddamn starts in an entire goddamn
Let's
month.
rein it in. There's a lot of...
I'm trying. I'm just
a lot of...
really good to me about it. I want to fucking play.
I know. All right, so let's talk about being subtle. How do you subtly tank without benching your entire team? There's a couple ways you can do this. Number one is you add players. I mean, you're staying active and competitive here because you're actively and competitively rebuilding. So you're going to add players to your roster that actually harm your team.
So high turnovers, bad field goal percentages, stuff like that.
Low batting average, just whatever. Guys that are going to hurt your team. Doesn't matter, any sport, you can find those guys. Just add scrubs, and you can just add, drop, whatever. Just everybody thinks you're active, but you're just making bad choices that take away from the strengths of your team. The next thing you can do, this is one of my favorites because you can get more draft picks out of this. You trade away guys that you have that have some value. Maybe it's an older player like a Tim Duncan or an Albert Pujols or something. You trade these guys away at the trade deadline. Somebody who's competing, maybe it's Ryan, like, well, I need that piece for the push.
Oh, that's my time to shine.
That's my time to shine too because I need another first-round pick.
No problem if it's going to get me a gold medal.
Mutually beneficial. Again, there's probably somebody in the middle that's going to be pissed off, like, oh, I didn't make the playoffs, or oh, I'm not getting first pick.
Too bad.
Too bad for the sour grapes, guys. So, again, the other thing you can do, maybe you trade for injured players. That guy that's going to miss the whole year because he got a Tommy John or he blew out his knee or something. He's a great player, but somebody's going to have to miss a whole year of that. Maybe it's Ryan's team and he can't wait for that injury to heal. I can't.
Like, I got to try to win now. That's the way my team is built. And I'm sorry, Paul George, you're out for the year. There's no IR slots yet.
You're gone. And then I swoop in. I'm like, I'll take that. And here's like IT2. Here's Isaiah Thomas, right? Here's some stuff. It helps you win. Whatever
More
it
than
happens to be.
IT2, but...
Well, we're talking about different ends of that same trade. But, so you can trade away assets for picks, for youth, for injured players. These are good ways to help rebuild a roster. The main thing that you want to keep in mind when you're rebuilding or tanking is that you don't want to affect the outcome of your league generally.
No.
The main, like, you don't want to piss off other managers, clearly. You're going to do it no matter what.
You just don't want to let a 7th or 8th place team make the playoffs because they win 0-10, 0-12, whatever. Like, so be conscious of that. And also remember, you don't have to be 12th place going into the consolation bracket.
No, okay, so this is for head-to-head leagues where there's a consolation bracket.
Right.
Roto teams, it's a little bit different. You're going to have to be careful there. But for a head-to-head league, you don't want the 7th or 8th place.
Yeah, you don't want that bye week.
Because if you have the bye week, you're automatically eliminated from getting the first-round pick the next year. You want the first overall if you're trying to tank and rebuild.
Absolutely.
So don't be in that 7th or 8th place slot. Subtly tank, subtly do what you need to do. And then in the playoffs, when nobody's looking, the last place teams are already
Nobody's
checked out.
going to bitch if it's 11th and 12th place team battling for the last spot.
That's when you can get a little bit more aggressive, a little louder. But the main thing is, don't fuck up your league for everybody else. Remember that tanking is frowned upon.
And the idea,
don't make your commission's job harder.
Please. And the idea is to build for the future, stay young, and build for the future.
Now, all right, so when you're building for the future and you've got young players, that's also an added bonus when you're rebuilding. With youth and upside comes the inherent drawback of the learning curve.
All right, so we hope this helped. I'll go ahead and finish us off with the Serenity Prayer.
Please.
Fantasy gods, please help me keep Tom from tanking consistently.
I'm out of the tank. I've been out of the tank now for a while.
And please grant me the wisdom to kick Tom's ass if he keeps tanking. And the knowledge to know when Tom's tanking. I don't know what I'm doing. Amen.
All right, and also, help me tank aggressively and competitively to rebuild. So I might take his ass out one day and send him back into the tank where he belongs finally.
Woo!
Woo! All right.
Thank
Good luck
you.
this year. We'll see you for the next video.
All right.
Later.